How's it going, everybody? CJ here. Back with the video. We're doing the first thoughts today. This one is on Tergrid God of Fear. Before we hop into it, though, remember, we got the Kickstarter going on. If you want Elder Dingus Highlander playmat, just check out the Kickstarter and you can get one. You can also get one signed, which is pretty cool. Signed by me, unfortunately. I'd scribble on it for you. If you want to support the channel, you can also check out the Patreon, and you can click on the TCG Player affiliate link down below. If you want to buy any cards that I talk about in this video, buy them through that link, and it helps out the channel. All that stuff is linked down below. But we're going to hop into this. Alright, so Tegrit God of Fear. This card is very powerful. This is a very powerful commander. This is a card that they immediately kill on sight commander. This deck is going to be very oppressive. No one's going to want to play against it, but it's going to be fun to play. And it's just an extremely powerful effect. So it would be something that I would love to have in the command zone. And it's going to be a fun card to play. But you're only going to be able to play a couple of games with it a day. Like a couple of games, and then people are going to get annoyed with it just because it's so strong and just so mean. Like, this deck is mean. You just kind of stop your opponents from doing what they want to do. Like, it's similar to, like, Tiny Bones. Tiny Bones is a cool deck. It's a fun strategy, but people hate playing against it. And this is like Tiny Bones, but significantly scarier. So, we're going to hop into this. The first thing I want to talk about is obviously going to be the creature side. And I'm going to start with the discard portion of the creature side, because this card triggers off of sacrificing and discarding. So we're going to start off with the discarding aspect and then move over to the sacrifice aspect. And these are just cards that synergize very well with it. So, to force your opponents to discard, you can use stuff like Bottomless Pit and Necrogen Mists. Both of these make your opponents discard a card, except Bottomless Pit's actually at random, which is good. So you make people discard a card at the beginning of their turns. You can play Oppression. Whenever they play a spell, they discard a card. It's similar with like Painful Quandary, another card that works very well in this deck for the same reason. Cunning Lethomancer, I believe that is, yeah, at the beginning, it's another one of the discard at the upkeep. You got Rankle, so you can kind of control some discarding there. Dark Deal, which is insane in this deck, is basically just a black wheel. So everyone discards their hand. So you're going to get any permanents that are discarded from those hands. And everyone draws new cards. That just seems insane in this deck. Vicious Rumors, which is just 1 mana to deal 1 damage to everybody. And each of them discards a card and mills a card and you gain a life. So 1 mana to potentially get 3 permanents seems very powerful. You got Mind Rake, which you're going to want to overload to make it so all your opponents discard 2 cards. You can use Words of Waste, which is a very cool enchantment. So you can pay 1 mana to turn your draws into your opponent's discarding. And so you can do it during your draw step. Just like, okay, I got enough good cards in hand. Let's just get some permanents. Pay 1. Every turn you can do that if you want to. Just pay 1, pay 1, pay 1. Whatever. You got Siphon Mind. Make your opponents all discard a card. Draw that many cards. And if they discard any permanents, you get those. Seems very powerful. Delirium Schemes. I do not remember what this one does, and I didn't pull it up because I'm apparently a big dummy. Delirium Schemes. Each player discards 3 cards, so 3 mana, 9 cards go to the graveyard, go to your opponent's graveyards. If any of those are permanents, you get them. That seems extremely powerful. This is going to be a good ramp deck, really, because your opponents are probably going to discard a lot of lands. You'll be getting a lot of lands from that. I like that. Liliana, Waker of the Dead, you can plus her to make people discard. Mind Slicer, when it dies, everyone discards their entire hand. Seems disgusting in the deck. Hymn to Turok makes someone discard 2 at random. You got Mind Twist, just a good way to discard a lot. Bad Deal, because all your opponents discard while you're drawing cards. It's just a huge swing. Then there's Pox and Smallpox. Both of those seem great includes. Like, fantastic includes. Just make your opponents... Smallpox is just mini. 1 life, discard a card, sack a creature, sack a land. Each opponent does that. So you're gonna get 3 creatures, 3 lands, and your opponents lose 3 life if everyone has a creature in play. I'm assuming everyone will have a land in play at that point. And then Pox itself is just a third of everything. So you're going to be getting a lot of stuff, especially if you draw that late game. Disgusting. And then you got Death Cloud, which is very similar to those, except it's an X spell. And Invisible Gardens, that way at the beginning of their turn, they discard a card. Then draw an additional card. So you're adding extra cards to hand, but you're getting that extra discard as well. And some cards that just work very well with this whole discarding theme. You can throw in Archfiend of Ifnir to make your opponent's creatures get smaller and smaller. Tiny Bones, of course. Draw cards. Waste Not and Bone Miser just seem fantastic. Liliana's Caress and Megrim are pretty cool cards. Just wait, and same thing I think with Spell Spectre and Sangromancer, all those that just trigger off discard. Geth's Grimoire draws you a card on your opponent's discard. And Haunt of Hightower just gets real big. So all those seem like great includes in this deck. And now we're going to move on to the sacrifice theme of the deck. So you can also just steal stuff your opponent sacrifices. That includes like if your opponent sacks a fetch land, you're going to get the fetch land after. That seems disgusting. So first thing I want to talk about, I talk about these guys all the time because they just seem to be good in most decks, like a lot of black decks. You got Plague Crafter, Fleshbag Marauder, Demon's Disciple, Merciless Executioner. Those four seem disgusting in this deck. Enters the battlefield, everyone sacks a creature. You're going to get those creatures. There's Torment of Hailfire, just a big X spell that you can dump a lot of mana into and steal a bunch of permanents. Smokestack, that is a terrible card to play against, but it seems extremely powerful inside of this deck. Grave Pact and Dictative Erebos seem good, because there's probably going to be, you're probably going to be sacking stuff yourself. You can dictate turns a Plague Crafter into your opponent sack 2 creatures, and you sack just Plague Crafter. There's Soul Shatter, good way to get rid of some big stuff. Same thing with Sazat's Will. You got Lucille. That seems like a cool card in this deck. I know it's like bad, like the card was created not the best way, but it's still a good card that fits in this deck, so I am going to talk about it. Liliana Dreadhorde General. Minuses to make everybody sack 2 creatures. Shieldred. Reanimate something during your turn. Your opponent sacks something during theirs. And then you got your edicts like Liliana's Triumph, Diabolic Edict, Mired Misery, and Virtue's Maneuver. All these seem very powerful in the deck. And so yeah, now that's all I've got for the front side of Tergrid. Now we have to talk about the legendary artifact Tergrid's Lantern that's on the back side. So this seems very, very powerful. So late game, you can throw her out there backwards and just use her to really just bring your opponent's life totals down, make them sack permanents. Well, that's a way to close out the game. And it's an infinite mana outlet. So like if you have infinite mana, you can just tap and untap her as much as you want and make your opponents lose a ton of life and sacrifice all their permanents and win the game. So to win the game that way, you can use Mags of the Coffers and like Umbral Mantle or Sword of Perins and just go nuts. Make infinite mana, dump it all into Tergrid's Lantern, and you win the game. Easy. You can also just, like, late game, if you have big mana cards in the deck, the cards to make a lot of mana, then this is a really good mana sink. So if you do, like, Cabal Coffers and Cabal Stronghold, Magus of the Coffers, and Urborg, like that little combination of cards, you can make a ton of mana and just drain everybody every turn if you need to. So throw in a sort of Feast and Famine just to double it up if you want to. You can do Nirkana Revenant and Crypt Gas and double up your mana. Same thing with like Cage Sun and Gauntlet of Power. Both of those seem great, like great includes in the deck. There's Bubbling Muck to make basically a high tide for black. Make it so you just tap all your swamps for double mana for a turn. And you got Nykthos and Nyx Lotus, because, yeah, you're in mono color, so these are probably going to make a lot of mana. And that is what I got for Tergrid, God of Fear. This card is definitely going to strike fear into your opponent's eyes and heart and face and hand, because it's all getting discarded. It's a very powerful card. Like, this is a deck I very much want to build, but I'm on the fence about building it just because I feel like I won't play it that often, due to the fact that it's just so mean, but it seems so fun. I have some mean decks. This one's I don't know if I need more mean decks, but this is a very good mean deck. And I like it. I like this one a lot. It's also a very good card to add into other decks, like it's an auto-include in Tiny Bones. It's very good in Negan. If you're going to build any of those decks, great include. So, yeah, that's what I got for Tergrid. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below if you're building her, or him, her. And I think it's a her. Looks like a her. Let me know in the comment section if there's any cool interactions that I missed that you found when building the deck yourself. Like this video, share this video. If you want to support the channel, remember we got the Kickstarter going on. You can get Elden Highlander playmats. Do that. You gotta support the channel through the Patreon. You can hop into Discord with us there, and it's a good time. We play games on Spell Table and stuff. It's fun. It's fun. And you gotta support the channel through our TCG Player affiliate link. And if you buy any cards, if you want to buy any cards for Tergrid or any other Kaldheim cards, buy them through that link. It helps the channel. All that stuff is linked down below, so just check down there. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.